Let me ask you something very uncomfortable. If nobody expected it of you, your parents, your in-laws, your government, your culture, would you still want children? Now take a moment with that question, because most people never actually ask it. They assume they follow the script, get educated, get a good job, get married, get a flat, get pregnant. That's just what you do. But in 2026, something is shifting quietly. In private conversations, over dinner tables, and in my conversations, educated and resourceful Singaporeans are asking a question their parents never thought to ask. Do I actually want this? Or do I just think I should? Today we are going to get there, honestly and without judgment, both sides of the table. Because whether you want children, don't want children, or genuinely haven't decided, you deserve to think about this clearly, not through the lens of what's expected, through the lens of what's true. If this question already hits something in you, follow me now. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 3 lenses that shape how couples in Singapore think about having children in 2026. The nationalistic lens, what Singapore needs and expects from its citizens. The economic lens, what children actually cost, and what that means for your life, including the part nobody says out loud. And the personal lens, what couples actually say privately when nobody is watching. I'm not here to tell you what to decide. I'm here to give you the clearest possible picture so that whatever you decide is genuinely yours. Save this video before we go further. This is a conversation worth coming back to. Now, Singapore has one of the lowest birth rates in the world. In 2023, total fertility rate hit 0.97, the first time it fell below 1. That means on average, Singaporeans are having less than 1 child per woman. Now, the government responded with financial incentives, baby bonus cash gifts, CTA top-ups, extended parental leave, subsidized childcare. Billions of dollars have been spent trying to encourage Singaporeans to have more children. And yet, the numbers keep falling. Why? Because the reason couples aren't having children isn't primarily financial, or at least it isn't only financial. Now here's the nationalistic tension that educated Singaporeans feel in 2026. On one hand, there is a genuine sense of duty. Singapore is a small country with no natural resources. Its people are its only asset. On the other hand, that same education system that produced these capable thinking, globally aware citizens also taught them to question assumptions, to optimize, to make evidence-based decisions. And when you apply that thinking to the question of having children, the answer isn't as automatic as the previous generation assumed it would be. Now, let's talk about money, because while it isn't the only factor, it is a real one. And in Singapore, it is a particularly sharp one. The estimated cost of raising a child in Singapore from birth to age 21 ranges from $300,000 on the conservative end to over $1 million if you factor in private education, enrichment, university, and the lifestyle that most middle-class Singaporean families aspire to. The number lands differently depending on who you are. For a dual-income couple earning a combined $12,000 to $15,000 a month, which is not unusual for educated professionals in the 30s, that cost is manageable. Tight in places, but manageable, with sacrifice. And sacrifice is the keyword. And in 2026, the sacrifices are more visible than ever before. Now, the sacrifice of career momentum, particularly for women, who still disproportionately bear the career cost of parenthood. The sacrifice of time, not just in quantity but quality. The ability to be present, unhurried, genuinely available in a city that runs at Singapore's pace. The sacrifice of financial freedom, the ability to retire early, travel extensively, change careers, take risks, all of which become significantly harder with dependence. And these are not trivial sacrifices. And educated couples in 2026 are doing the calculation more honestly than any generation before them. But here's the part of the economic argument that almost nobody says out loud, and I think it's time somebody did. There's a cultural assumption in Singapore that's inherited from a tradition of filial piety. That we assume children will take care of you when you are old. that the investment you make raising them will return in your retirement years in the form of support, presence, financial contribution. Now, I want to challenge that assumption directly because in 2026, it is increasingly unreliable as a retirement plan. Here is the reality I see. Not all children are financially capable of supporting their parents. Some will struggle in their own careers. Some will carry debt. Some will need your help long after you expected them to be independent. With a down payment, a business that didn't work out, a divorce, a health issue. The child you raise to be your safety net might arrive at age 35 needing one themselves. Now, not all children are emotionally present. Filial piety as a value is real, but it is not guaranteed. Children mix with different people, form their own worldviews, move overseas, and build lives that don't center around the family home the way previous generations did. Some parents find themselves at 70 years old with children who are loving but distant. Others find relationships that become complicated through disagreements, through choices the parents didn't approve of, through the simple reality that you cannot control who your child becomes once they leave your sight. And then there is the category nobody wants to name. Some children become sources of ongoing financial drain and emotional weight. Not because they are bad people, but because life is unpredictable. A child who cannot hold on to a job, who develops dependency issues, who make decisions that require repeated rescuing. Now that is not a retirement asset, that is a retirement liability. Now I say this not to be harsh. I say this because it is true and because the couples who factor this honestly into their thinking tend to make far better decisions than the ones who assume the traditional script will play out. Now here is the contrarian truth that think couples often discover. Planning for retirement without children is actually simpler, not harder, because you already know the answer to the question that haunts every parent's retirement plan. Will my children help me when I am old? As a thing, you don't carry that unknown variable. You already know with complete clarity that you are responsible for yourselves. So you plan accordingly, early and deliberately, without the false comforts of assuming someone else will fill the gap. That clarity is not a tragedy. For many couples, it is a genuine advantage because the most dangerous retirement plan in Singapore right now is the one built on assumption that children will contribute without ever honestly asking whether this assumption is realistic. So the couples who plan as if nobody is coming to help them, whether they have children or not, are the ones who tend to arrive at retirement with actual options. Save this video. That point right there is one most people in my industry won't say out loud, but it needs to be said. Follow me if you want more of these honest conversations. Now, this is the lens that matters the most, personal lens, and it's the one people are least honest about. In my years of sitting across from couples in Singapore, I have heard both sides of this conversation more times than I can count. Let me share what people actually say when they feel safe enough to say it. Why couples genuinely want children? I want to experience a love I never felt before. This comes up more than any other reason. The desire to parent, to nurture, to guide, to witness a life unfold is, for many people, a profound and genuine calling. Not a social obligation, but a deep human want. I want our relationship to mean something beyond the two of us. Many couples describe children as an extension of their commitment to each other. It's like a shared project or a legacy that outlasts them. I don't want to be old and alone. This one is rarely said first, but it is said eventually. The fear of a childless old age, not just practically but emotionally, is real and honest and deserves to be named without shame. My parents would love it, and honestly, so would I. Some couples want children partly because family means something to them. Culture, continuity, the joy of giving their own parents grandchildren. This is not peer pressure. This is love. And now, why couples genuinely don't want children? Well, I like my life. I genuinely, deeply like my present life. Now, this is the one that surprises people most when they first hear it said out loud, not as selfishness, but as clarity. Some couples built something they love, their relationship, their freedom, their pace of living, their work, and they don't want to trade it. This is a legitimate and considered position. I'm not sure if I will be a good parent, and I take that seriously. Some of the most thoughtful people I met have said this, not as self-deprecation, but as a genuine reflection. Parenting is hard. Not everyone is temperamentally suited to it. Knowing that about yourself is wisdom and not weakness. The world feels uncertain. I am not sure I want to bring a child into it. Climate anxiety, geopolitical instability, pace of technology change. Now these concerns show up more and more in conversations with younger couples. They are not irrational. They are a window into how this generation is processing the future. We tried, it didn't work, and at some point we made peace with that. And then there are the couples for whom this wasn't fully a choice, who wanted children, tried, and eventually arrived at a life without them, and built something meaningful in that space. The answer to this question is different from everyone else, and it deserves to be treated differently. If any of these voices sounded like yours, save this video, share it with your partner. Here is what I come to believe after hearing both sides of this conversation more times than I can count. Most couples in Singapore in 2026 are not choosing between wanting children or not wanting children. They are choosing two different versions of a meaningful life and trying to figure out which one is actually theirs. The couple that has children and pour themselves into that, living a rich life, or the couple that doesn't have children yet build something deliberate and purposeful together, a life of freedom, depth, contribution, and financial independence that also lives a rich life. The couples I worry about are not the ones who chose, they are the ones who never did. Because the question isn't really, do you want children? The question is, have you been honest enough with yourself and your partner to actually find out? I'm not going to tell you what to decide. That was never my place. But I will tell you this. Whatever you decide, the financial implications are real and significant. And most couples on both sides of this question are underprepared for what their chosen path actually requires of them. If you want to have that conversation, what does my specific path actually look like financially in 2026? Drop me a message or hit the link below. Because this is exactly the kind of conversation I have every week on this channel. Honest, specific, built for educated Singaporeans who are done with generic financial advice. Save this one, share it with someone who needs to hear it, follow me so you don't miss what's coming next, and see you in the next one.